Hey guys! I'm so happy for today because today we are making delicious, easy, one-pot breakfast burritos that I hope your family will love. I know mine does. Now let's dive into what you're gonna need. I have a dozen eggs, a good-sized pot, some microwavable sausage links, but you can use bacon or chorizo, or my favorite is steak, salsa, vegetable oil, potatoes. I have 4 large ones here. We have an onion, extra large burrito-sized flour tortillas, shredded Mexican cheese, a cutting board, knife, spatula, and a slotted spoon that can handle high heat for when you're frying the potatoes, but I'm just using a wooden spoon today. Alright, I'm so excited to show you guys how easy this is. Let's get started. First, you're gonna chop up your potatoes into cubes. You want them to be about 1/2 inch. Don't worry too much about making them perfect, just do your best, and if you have any that are bigger than the others, just cut them in half. The smaller ones, they're just gonna get crispier on the outside, and then they're gonna be yummy on the inside of the burrito, but if you have a huge hunk of uncooked potato, it's not gonna be so yummy. After all of the potatoes are all cut up, I ended up only using 3 actually because they were big potatoes. Now you're gonna start warming up your vegetable oil in your pan. You don't need too much, just enough to coat the bottom with a thick layer. You want the oil to warm up on a medium heat for a few minutes before you add in your potatoes. You'll know that your oil is ready if you throw in a tiny potato and the oil pops and sizzles, or you can add in a small drop of water to the oil and it's gonna do the same thing. Once it's ready, you can go ahead and carefully add in the potatoes, but you only want to cook enough so that there's an even layer on the bottom of the pan. For me, it looks like I'm gonna have to do 2 batches of the potatoes to cook and fry them. Make sure you're rotating the potatoes regularly and keep them in an even layer. And then you're gonna notice that as they start to cook and as they're closer to being done, that some of them are going to have a little hint of golden brown on them. They should all be done if you take out one of the bigger ones, find a bigger potato, take it out as a sacrifice, and then cut it with a fork. And if it's soft and easy to cut through, then they're done. Just be careful if you want to sample it because it's going to be very hot. It just came out of some hot oil. Now that the potatoes are all done, you're going to want to scoop the potatoes out of the oil. Try not to bring too much of the oil out with them. And you're just going to go ahead and put the potatoes on a plate lined with paper towels. And while they're hot, make sure that you sprinkle them with salt and pepper right away. Oh my gosh, these look so good. These can just hang off to the side while you cook the rest of the potatoes. While you're cooking all of the potatoes, you're gonna want to kind of multitask a little bit. You wanna clean your cutting board and start cutting up your onion. It's super easy to cut onions. You just cut off the ends. You peel off the outer layer. Cut the onion in half through its core. And then you're gonna notice these lines. It's easiest to make your first cut the halfway cut through the onion. It just makes it easier to cut the rest of the onion. Go at an angle with your knife and you're going to go along these lines of the onion. Just make sure that your cuts aren't too close together. They aren't too far apart. But again, don't worry about them all being perfect. Don't go from one end of the onion to the other. The other side of the onion has the core there, and that is keeping the whole onion together. Then you just turn the onion the other way and you start dicing it. It's super, super easy. Now, super speed for this other one. Keep stirring and checking on your potatoes while you're doing all of these other things too. Also, while your potatoes are cooking, you can go ahead and start to scramble your eggs if you have time. If you find it difficult to get the onions chopped or the eggs mixed while the potatoes are cooking, don't stress about it. You can cook all of the potatoes all at once, and once they're all done, they can hang out on the counter while you get everything else done. I forgot earlier to mention the milk in the ingredients. It's not a necessity, but I like to just add a splash to the eggs. And then, of course, make sure to add in your salt and pepper. Now I'm going to get the rest of the potatoes out. After the potatoes are cooked and you're waiting for the oil to cool down before you discard it, you can microwave your sausage and get it all cut up and ready. Carefully get rid of your oil. I have a metal coffee canister that I use. Wipe it out with a paper towel after all of the oil is out, and then you can start cooking your onions. Add in a bit of butter. Once the butter starts cooking a little, you can add in your onions and start to saute them. Make sure to add in your salt and pepper to these too. Salt and pepper really matter so much. When you're cooking the onions, the longer you cook them and the more translucent they become, the less you're going to taste the onion. I like to get mine sweating just a little bit, and then I add in all the eggs. You want your heat to be on medium so they don't cook too fast. Make sure you're regularly moving your eggs. Scrape the bottom and the sides of the pan while you're cooking. Make sure to constantly be moving them. It doesn't take too long for them to start to solidify. Once they're almost done and there's not a whole lot of liquid left in the eggs, then you can go ahead and pour in your sausage or whatever meat you had used, and then just get that all incorporated together a bit. Then you can stir in all your potatoes and give it a good stir. There's a lot of stuff in here and you want to get everything mixed up well together. Once everything's all mixed together and the eggs are all cooked, you can turn off the heat, and then you can go ahead and add in some salsa. And then give it another stir, and we're almost done! For the tortillas, I just microwaved them. I cooked 4 of them together on a plate between paper towels. I did 30 seconds, and then I flipped them over, and then I did 30 seconds more. Now you're gonna put some cheese on the tortilla and add in your filling. And then if you're feeling fancy, you can add another drizzle of cheese. You can definitely add more salsa now, or some chili peppers, or some avocado, or anything else that's super fancy. Now on to the most important part, folding the burrito. Make sure everything's piled up in the middle. You fold the bottom of the tortilla up. So then you use the tortilla to put your hand in a claw around the mixture. And then you're going to fold in the sides, and you're going to roll it tightly, but not too tightly, away from you. And voila! You're ready to dig in. This recipe made 8 hearty burritos that are great for any meal of the day. It doesn't matter, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Well, I hope I made you guys hungry, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. Give it a try and let me know how you liked it.